We are diving straight into the DET at DL single game showdown, and we are building around ceiling with smart leverage. Here is why we are making each choice, using dash rank, opponent context, ownership, recent form, salary, and the best news we have. We are starting our captain pool with Jahmyr Gibbs at 11,000. Dash rank is a perfect 100, projected for 23 points, and he is facing Dallas, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31. Ownership is about 51%, which is fair chalk given the ceiling. The last three are 12, 58, and 23, and that spike week is exactly the reason we want exposure at captain. Multiple outlets have been elevating him into the MVP conversation lately, with Essentially Sports noting two running backs, including Gibbs, forcing their way into the Week 13 MVP ladder, and also listing him among the top Week 12 performers. We like Gibbs as a dual threat, whose pass work correlates even if we captain him alongside his quarterback. Our next captain is Dak Prescott at 15,600. Dash rank 100, projected 20, and Detroit have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 20. Ownership sits around 44%. His last three are 25, 31, and 25, and projections for quarterbacks are reliable with a long runway of starts. The news flow backs the form. Essentially, Sports had Dak back in the MVP debate heading into Week 14, and local recaps tagged a strong Thanksgiving performance in a 31-28 win. We are paying for stability plus multi-touchdown upside in a soft overall matchup. We will add George Pickens as a leverage captain at 14,100. Dash rank 100, projected 18, ownership around 31%. Last three are 17, 33, and 32, so the ceiling is right there, and he fits perfectly with Dak stacks. Detroit have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 20, and recent reporting has framed the Cowboys' trade for Pickens as a big payoff with explosive per-catch production. If the field concentrates on Dak plus tight end, we like Dak plus Pickens to push for 30-plus combined. Jared Goff is our fourth captain and main bring-back at 15,000. Dash rank 100, projected 19, ownership around 41%. He draws Dallas, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31. Goff's last three are 21, 18, and 13, and his projection is reliable. The key reason to captain Goff is correlation with Gibbs, if you believe in a pass-heavy script where Gibbs racks up receptions, and it also flips game script leverage against Dak chalk. In the flex, we are prioritizing Jahmyr Gibbs, if not at captain for all the reasons above. Core play, high floor through receiving, slate-breaking ceiling. Dak Prescott, if not at captain, because QB raw points matter most in Showdown, and his range of outcomes is tight. Jared Goff, if not at captain, as the cleanest bring back to Dak stacks. We are then rounding with these priority skill players. Javonte Williams at 13,500 with 35% ownership and 15 projected points. Detroit have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 20. His last three are 17, 12, and 8, and the role is secure per reports that the Cowboys listed him as the starting running back earlier in the season. We like him most in lineups, where you fade one of Dak or Pickens and lean on a ground-based Cowboys path. George Pickens at flex, when not captained for the ceiling profile, already shown him back-to-back 30-plus outings in the recent sample and the favorable overall matchup. Jake Ferguson at 11,100, projected 11 with about 21% ownership. Last three are 9, 11, and 10. He gives us steady volume as Dak's safety valve and captures red zone equity if Pickens draws defensive attention. News has spotlighted him as a go-to piece in this offense. Our favorite value is Tom Kennedy at 2,000. Projected 6 with roughly 51% ownership, and he posted 8 fantasy points one game ago. This is clear salary relief that lets us jam 2 or 3 studs. Dallas have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31, so the value can get there on a couple of chain-moving targets. We are treating David Montgomery at 10-500 as leverage. Projected 10 with about 25% ownership. Last three are 13, 7, and 5. If the field overstacks Gibbs, Montgomery gives us touchdown equity at lower ownership. Use him in lineups where you do not captain Gibbs. Kickers are firmly in play. Jake Bates at 7,500 is projected 9 with about 21% ownership, and his last three are 6, 12, and 5. His story has been everywhere after the UFL run and Detroit signing, and this is the kind of showdown where a couple of stalled red zone trips cash him in. On the other side, Brandon Aubrey at 8,100 projects 9 with about 22% ownership, and has posted 12, 7, and 9 his last three. Dallas has one of the biggest legs in the league per recent features, and he correlates with a Dak plus Pickens build that still accounts for drives ending in threes. Deep punts if you want to get different in large fields. Ross Dwelly at 4,200, projected 5 with about 11% ownership. Use when you think Detroit spreads the ball and you need a single cheap catch to unlock salary. Dominic Lovett at 1,200 with a projection of 2 and essentially no ownership. The fantasy point history shows zeros the past 3, so this is a true dart that helps you 5-stud a build. We only use him in lineups that captain Dak or Gibbs and need salary. On defenses, we are underweight. The Lions' defense has posted -1, 3, and 2, the last three with sub-10% ownership, and the Cowboys' offense is efficient. The Cowboys' defense projects modestly with about 6% ownership. Given both offenses have clean paths to move the ball against what the ranks signal as one of the worst defenses overall on either side, we prefer the kickers for similar price and a better median. Our preferred constructions: Captain Jahmyr Gibbs with Dak, Pickens, and Tom Kennedy, plus one kicker for balance. Captain Dak Prescott with Pickens, Javonte Williams, and Bates as a bringback. Or swap Bates to Goff if you want a full-on shootout script. Captain Jared Goff with Gibbs, a Detroit value like Kennedy, and run back with either Dak or Pickens. Leverage build with Captain George Pickens. Stack Dak, and rotate Detroit bringbacks between Gibbs and Montgomery to flip the chalk. We are anchoring on Gibbs and Dak because both carry dash rank 100, strong projections, and favorable overall opponent ranks that signal one of the worst defenses overall on both sides of the ball. The news cycle is also supportive, with Essentially Sports pushing Gibbs into MVP chatter after his top performer slate, and Dak back in the MVP debate with sustained production. That combination of metrics and momentum is exactly why we are making them the core tonight.